be on a watching brief for Meiwa's brother Sfiso in relation to that contentious second docket. Now, Sfiso says that they are aware of the harassment that the advocate has suffered. Take a listen.
Tina, vele family be siyazi ngoba sike sakhuluma naye uTefo waveza indlela amaharasa ngayo. No, we came to an agreement with no akwenzeke kanje, but asikho worried, siyazi ukuthi kuzokwenzakalani ukusukela la ngoba sakhona ku375 lokhu uwona vele une evidence.
Ukhuluma ngama threats and harassments, and now uyasho ukuthi unitshelile ngawo. Do you know what exactly where they come from?
Avela emaphoyiseni. Yeah. Emaphoyiseni la ukuyiwona ngafuna ukuboshwa abantu abaright. Yeah.
Are you also experiencing the same threats?
No, mina kwaba ukuthi nje bangisabisa ukuthi bazongivulela icase la kwagcina lapho bagcina bengafikanga futhi.
Some analysis for you now. Advocate Romeo Ndambeleni says Defo needs to explain his withdrawal from the case and in fact report the harassment to the relevant authorities.
He must actually indicate what sort of harassment is he actually talking about and report to the necessary authorities the form of harassment that he is actually talking about. Fortunately enough, Kathy, we were all able to see the proceedings of the trial and how the trial was being conducted. And you cannot just impugn on the dignity of the court without actually having a substantial allegations of saying why you are saying that the court was not listening to what you were actually saying. So there must be a basis of bringing that sort of an allegation against actually a judge and the prosecutor, so that at least these allegations can be looked at.
Ndambeleni says the exchange between Advocate Defo and the presiding officer during court proceedings yesterday also brings the legal profession into disrepute.
It actually happened, and then we saw those exchanges that were actually happening in court, and that was quite unfortunate because it brings the entire profession into disrepute and the decorum of the court itself. And when you see a judge continuously interjecting in the proceedings, that is not supposed to be what is actually happening, because the judge is there to make sure that the trial proceeds and the evidence that the state has is presented, and to make a determination whether these people that are accused are indeed guilty or not guilty of the crime. And when you find the judge now dealing with matters of procedure and the court etiquette in the middle of proceedings, that is not supposed to be happening.
By the way, I'm not sure if you saw that exchange yesterday. It was really quite remarkable to watch. In fact, some reporters saying that in the 19-odd years that they've spent watching stories unfold in the country's courts, they've never seen something like that. Essentially, whilst he was explaining the reasons for his withdrawal, that's Advocate Malisela Defo, the judge almost seemed to be running out of patience with some of the reasons he was providing. And the exchange between the two of them around whether or not Malisela Defo can provide these reasons were awkward at best, and again, brought the profession into disrepute at the very worst, as this legal analyst has already told us. Now, we know that Defo is on a watching brief for Sfiso Meiwa. Now is on a watching brief for Senzo Meiwa's mother. He's our guest within this hour. We'll get his reaction to what unfolded yesterday. In other news worth your attention, former Transnet CEO Siyabonga Gama and his co-accused are expected